Welcome to the set of You Say Maize, I Say Blue. I'm Andrew Olmsted, joined by Andy Bahena. Got a good show today.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
We're gonna start things off the way we usually do. I'm gonna say blue, or you can say maize. I'm gonna say blue, as in I'm feeling a little blue today. I accidentally broke a promise to a friend. I promised I would wear my Snuggie on air today. Yes, I own a Snuggie, but I conveniently forgot it in my room, so I'm feeling a little blue today.
I'm gonna stop you right there, and I'm gonna say I'm amazed that you've managed to retain your manhood while admitting that you own a Snuggie. But it's okay.
Don't hate the Snuggie.
Keep up the good work. I haven't tried it, but I'm sure they're great. I'm sure they're great. I guess we're gonna be running with it. Jumping into U of M hoops action. Big win against Minnesota. A little bit of an upset. And how important was that win?
Well, this win is really big. This is a huge win for them. I mean, the one thing that the resume has really been lacking so far this year is the presence of a strong road win. I know they had the neutral court win against UCLA, but they really haven't had a good, strong road win, and this really caps things off well, ends the season on a strong note, which is something important that the selection committees look at.
No, definitely. I mean, prior to this game, U of M only had 2 Big Ten road wins, period, this entire year, and those were not against top competition. I mean, not that Minnesota is necessarily one of the best teams in the Big Ten, but they're definitely in, they're in for dancing, possibly.
It's a team that they're competing with for the bubble, so by beating them, it just helps the chances that much more.
Yeah, and this game really set them forward. There were a few things I wasn't that happy to see. I mean, you saw Lavelle Lucas-Perry stepping it up. He really, 19 points in only 21 minutes. Yeah. You had Sims with 24 and Manny Harris with 14. The problem was those 3 accounted for a good over 90% of the points. It's something to be a little worried about.
If you look at the box score, the whole rest of the team, besides those 3 guys, combined for 3 field goals. That's just awful. Lavelle Lucas-Perry, the only guy that scores off the bench, the highest leading rebounder in the game for Michigan, had 2 rebounds.
Exactly.
2. I mean, this team needs some work, but this is good. The win itself is good for the overall resume, regardless of the actual performance in the game.
Yeah, and one thing that I saw, it's something that we've been doing the Wolverines have been doing all year. Even if they are getting out rebounded 2-1 like they did in this Minnesota game, they're making it up with a turnover differential. They favored in turnovers 17-9 in this game, and it definitely made the difference in the end, down the stretch. That along with good free throw shooting, and they're 14-15.
In all fairness, they did shoot close to 50% from the field. When you're shooting that well, there aren't as many rebounds to grab, I suppose. But still, not great. But, hanging in there.
Definitely.
It goes a long way.
It's a great way moving forward, hopefully, in the Big Ten tournament. Pick up some momentum, win some games, and get into the dance. That is the ultimate goal right now.
There it is. Get into the dance. Speaking of the dance, talking some national scene hoops, what are you most excited to see in this last week right before Selection Sunday?
Well, I'm going to be honest. I'm definitely a homer. I'm really pumped for the Big Ten tournament. But, stepping aside from that, we've already talked some Big Ten. Definitely the ACC, baby. That's going to be an amazing tournament. I'm really looking forward to it. There's 5 teams in the top 25, and UNC, Wake Forest, Duke, Florida State, and Clemson, and there's 3 other teams in the mix that could make the dance, in BC, Maryland, and Miami. It's going to be a great tournament. There should be a lot of competition. You just had UNC beating Duke, 79-71 a couple days ago, to take the ACC crown. It's definitely going to be a great thing to watch, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I agree with you on that. I like what you said earlier about the Big Ten tournament, and we're going to be talking about that a little bit later because it is so important. But talks that maybe as many as 8 teams out of the Big Ten could make the dance. That's really impressive, and that's going to be a really exciting tournament because that means there's going to be a lot of quality basketball going on. It may not be the most exciting basketball being played in the country, but it's quality and it's important. And another really important race to watch down the end is who's going to take that 4th #1 seed. I mean, I think there's a lot of consensus that teams like Pitt, UConn, and UNC are probably going to take 3 of the tops. But there's a lot of competition up for that last #1 seed. Teams like Oklahoma, a team like Memphis with a really good record, even though not that many quality wins, That's what I'm going to really be watching.
I mean,
Talks that
you
maybe
even
Michigan State could even creep in
yeah.
there.
I mean, you have Duke at number 11. That's also another option. It's just it's a crazy time of the year right now. It's definitely looking good. Going back to the Big Ten really quick, I find it really interesting. There's actually still 9 teams that could possibly get into the dance. You have Northwestern that's never made it before, and like I said, 9 out of the 11 teams in the Big Ten could make the NCAA tournament, field of 64.
It's ridiculous.
It's going to be some great.
It's going to be some great
times. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to it too.
Definitely.
Yeah. So as far as moving forward, I guess you have U of M hockey. You know, we're preparing for Western Michigan University.
Yeah, speaking of approaching big tournaments.
Yes, exactly. You know, also you extended Red Berenson's contract, and there's a big outdoor game coming up. What are you thinking about all these things going on with the U of M hockey team?
The first and foremost, most evident, preparing to face Western Michigan. I mean, Michigan does have a very high seed, so they are favored to win this matchup. But at the same time, Western Michigan, one of only 3 teams not wearing the winged helmets to win inside Yost. So I don't know if you can say this is going to be an easy win. This is going to be a good competitive series. What are your thoughts?
No, definitely. Western Michigan, we split the series earlier this year with them, with the road teams taking each victory, like you mentioned. That's definitely something to keep in mind. This team, I don't think, is a slouch. I mean, they're 9-13-6 in the CCHA, which isn't that impressive, but they've won their last 5 out of 6, including the big first-round series in the tournament over Lake State. So definitely, they're playing on top. They have some good leaders. They have a goalie that's playing really well right now, in Riley Gill. It's definitely a matchup that we don't need to look. The Wolverines shouldn't look over, and they just need to keep everything in mind and get business done.
Yeah, I mean, this is a Wolverines team that's playing great right now. So, I mean, I think we have to like their chances going in. But also making some other news, giving a 1-year contract extension to Red Berenson. Just based on what he's done with this program the whole time he's been here, I don't think you're going to find anyone that says this is not a good idea. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. He's been here for 25 years. He played here, 670 wins, a 673 winning percentage. He's everything you want in a college hockey coach. You know, it reminds me a lot of those big-time basketball greats that stayed at their schools, respective schools forever, and as well as, Joe Pa and Bobby Bowden. I think Red Berenson, Gordon Red Berenson, no less, deserves to, be in those type of conversations, and it's really good that U of M, could get him locked up for the next season. Hopefully that continues on into the future.
Yeah.
Another thing.
I mean, as long as he wants to be here,
of course. And another thing, we talked about, Michigan just signed up. They got invited to the Camp Randall Classic in Madison, Wisconsin next year, 2010 season, to play Wisconsin in a outdoor game.
Outdoor hockey game.
Yeah, I mean,
that'll
should be
great. Exciting. But the real news that I think here is also in the works for the 2010 season. A game scheduled against Michigan State at the Big House, outdoor, 100,000 fans. That's going to be nuts.
Potentially.
I mean, it would be nuts. 100,000 fans.
It could hold much more.
I'm excited about this. What are your thoughts on this?
No, definitely. I think these outdoor games are great. It's something we saw. The first outdoor game in the modern hockey era was in 2001, Michigan versus Michigan State, and now
hugely successful.
Yeah, and it was hugely successful. And now you're seeing all these just keep on coming up. So it's definitely pretty cool.
All right. Well.